Tonight, a stern warning from the province's chief medical examiner.
Cocaine is the main killer, and this is not surprisingly.
Deadly drugs, and it isn't just fentanyl. Party drugs are having fatal consequences.
It's time to move on from Titanic and go and explore other parts of the ocean, which so far are not known to us.
Leave the Titanic alone. That ocean explorer says stop the dives. There's nothing left to learn. And protesters gathered outside a federal office calling on Ottawa to review a wind-to-hydrogen project on the West Coast.
This is CBC Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. Newfoundland and Labrador's chief medical examiner says cocaine is a killer. This in the wake of warnings from police about fentanyl-laced drugs and their deadly consequences. Dr. Nash Denick says most people who die from drug use are actually dying from cocaine. According to the latest numbers, 23 people in the province have died since January. The deaths led more than 100 people to protest at Confederation Building this summer, demanding government do more to help those with addictions. They also sparked a warning from the RNC that there may be fentanyl in the illicit drug supply. But the chief medical examiner says cocaine is the main killer. 17 of those deaths are cocaine related, 2 were from fentanyl, and 4 deaths were a combination of the 2 drugs.
We still don't have an epidemic in Newfoundland. However, I still believe that one life is too many, given to the drugs as such. We cannot be blaming fentanyl, possibly contaminated cocaine, when you're taking cocaine, which can kill you.
We'll have more of my feature interview with the province's chief medical examiner, Dr. Nash Denick, coming up in about 30 minutes. A renowned ocean explorer says it's time to leave the Titanic alone. Rob McCallum says there's nothing left to learn from the 118-year-old shipwreck off the coast of Newfoundland. His comments come as the U.S. government tries to block efforts to return to the wreck next spring. Here Now's Ryan Cook reports.
In the wake of the OceanGate disaster, questions still linger about what the loss of 5 lives will mean for future expeditions to the Titanic. But for one explorer who's led multiple expeditions to the wreckage, it's time to call it quits.
I think we're getting to the point where we're sort of saturated with Titanic information. It's by far the most studied shipwreck in the world, and maybe it's time to say thank you and good night.
Rob McCallum's comments come as a new plan emerges to visit Titanic in 2024, a plan that's drawing heat from the U.S. government. Here's how it works. All Titanic expeditions have to be cleared by one court in Norfolk, Virginia, and all salvage rights to the Titanic are owned by one company in Atlanta. That company, RMS Titanic Inc., is asking the court to greenlight a trip to the Titanic in May 2024. But the U.S. government is asking the court to kibosh their plans. That's because the U.S. signed an agreement with the U.K. in 2019 to limit expeditions that go inside the Titanic. And that's exactly what RMS Titanic Inc. wants to do. The company has its sights set on the Marconi telegraph used to transmit Titanic's distress signals. The U.S. says that violates its agreement with the U.K. Legal experts in the U.S. say this challenge could take years to resolve. Rob McCallum says it's not worth it.
I just can't think of anything that we need to recover from the wreck that would add new or different information than we already have. There are a number of exhibitions circling around the world. It's time to move on from Titanic and go and explore other parts of the ocean, which so far are not known to us.
If a mission goes ahead, RMS Titanic Inc. says it will be unmanned, as it's still too soon after the OceanGate disaster to send people back down to the wreckage. Ryan Cook, CBC News, St. John's.
Today, we are fighting to win a federal impact assessment.
About a dozen people gathered outside of the Federal Impact Assessment Agency's office in downtown St. John's today, protesting plans for a wind to hydrogen to ammonia mega project in western Newfoundland. Right now, World Energy GH2's plans to build hundreds of wind turbines on the Port-au-Port Peninsula is in the provincial environmental assessment phase. The demonstrators want Ottawa to agree to do a federal review, which they say is more comprehensive.
Well, for one thing, because the provincial government is so clearly actually a proponent itself, so it can't be unbiased. I mean, I think individual ministers can be unbiased and certainly are doing their best. But the government's position is we are promoting big time, big projects all over the island, and who knows, next in Labrador.
Well, certainly the chilliest morning we have experienced in a while across a good chunk of the island. 6 degrees in St. John's. You woke up this morning, -1 in Badger, and up across Labrador. Some of the coldest temperatures so far this year, between 2 and 3 degrees towards the coast, 0 degrees in Happy Valley, Goose Bay, and -2 in Lab City. Both those airports recorded their coldest temperature since June 3rd, but the first freeze since June 4th. So it's definitely some cold air. We've got another chilly night tonight. The reason for that is some clear skies through the overnight. We've got a big ridge of high pressure just to our west at the moment, and that is going to keep the skies clear as we head through the weekend. But right now, setting the stage for that, there's that ridge of high pressure. That will move in. It's actually going to bring some warmer temperatures right along with it. But for the time being, we do have a frost advisory in place from Green Bay, White Bay, all the way through to the Avalon. So if you have frost-sensitive plants still, like your vegetables, your annuals, your herbs, you're definitely going to want to cover those up. Water them tonight, cover them with a sheet, and that will prevent the frost. We'll talk about what the rest of the forecast looks like when I come back.
Over 150 households were displaced as a result of post-tropical storm Fiona. And although it's now been nearly a year since the storm hit the southwest coast of Newfoundland, some of the people who lost everything are still living in limbo. Malone Mullen reports.
My mother, she's deceased, and sister Tracy, she's the youngest in the family, and me.
This is one of the few things Smokey Osmond still owns, a photograph of his mother, salvaged from the wreckage of his home. Osmond has spent the last year in limbo, living in a rental with nowhere else to go.
Well, it could be long term, like I got money, but I never got enough bail house, but I got enough buy house. But where are you going to buy a house to? Time I got my settlement, almost all the good nice houses and places you want to live to was gone.
Osmond is among the more than 90 households in Port-au-Basque whose properties were damaged beyond repair, left unlivable. Alex Osmond has lived here since 1962. He says his house somehow escaped Fiona's wrath without even a scratch, but he's too close to the water to live here anymore. By March, he'll need to move away, and he has no idea where to go.
This is home. A little bit of it, you know. I'm 84 years old, so but take my house for now.
Yeah.
Do you think never one of those going to happen? Might never.
Yeah. So if you had the choice, you would stay no matter
I would
what.
Stay.
On top of the 90 houses Fiona destroyed, the town and the province condemned 57 more houses in Port-au-Basque this June, including Osmond's. They're part of a new exclusion zone, determined to be at risk of future storm surges, a new reality in an era of severe weather as a result of climate change.
It's going to cost the town a lot in terms of population. I think, 150 homes gone, there's nowhere for them to go. So they're just going to go.
Renee Roy says that move will change the face of the town irrevocably.
This isn't a home anymore. So when these people lose their homes and they see the street they grew up on is just decimated, it's going to be the same thing. It's not home anymore. Why stay? I think it's going to really hurt Port-au-Basque. I understand it's for their safety, but it's going to hurt a lot.
The Red Cross has donated money for a dozen new apartment units for seniors. But Osmond, now living in a rental with almost nothing to his name, says life just isn't what it used to be.
I don't think it's going to get back normal. I lost everything. I found, people found 3 pictures of my family, some of it. And a thing with trauma Mabley, my godchild gave me, last thing he gave me. So they found that, that's why I got that out in the apartment.
Mass displacement has affected everyone, grappling still with grief and loss and facing an uncertain future. It's a heavy burden to bear, even for those who barely escape the surge with their lives.
Well, like I looked at, some days I wish I never got out. Some other days, I'm glad I got out.
And why do you say that?
Mental health, a lot of it.
Malone Mullen, CBC News, Port aux Basques.
We'll have much more coverage on Monday when Here and Now returns to Port aux Basques for the 1-year anniversary of Posttropical Storm Fiona. We hope you can join us. In other news, the Eastport Peninsula is known for its spectacular beaches, but a festival is hoping to bring more attention to another natural wonder in the area. The Damnable Trail Festival kicks off its 2nd season today. Troy Turner was there.
Beyond the endless sand of Eastport and Sandy Cove beaches, an intricate series of walking and hiking trails is bringing people to the Eastport Peninsula.
We spent a fair amount of time on the trails here, and they're top-notch.
It's Tina Pretty's 2nd trip to the Damnable Trail Festival, so named from Damn the Bell, from an old tale of a pirate ship being discovered when a bell was accidentally rung. That was the 1800s. These days, the backdrop for this weekend's event is the network of trails following old hauling paths and walking trails from the area's first settlers.
It extends summer just a little bit more, so, like this is a Friday, and I could be in the office, but I'm not. I'm here today because it's so great.
The festival opened with a hike to Net Point in Salvage this morning, then moved to the coastline of Sandy Cove for a lunch and music session.
We are becoming known more for the trails, I think, or just as much as our beaches. It's a different clientele.
The committee has been planning the event since January, and they're seeing strong participation so far.
If we can become that year-round destination, I mean, what more do you want? That's what it's all about. And we need that here, right?
The events will continue all weekend with the anchor event, the Coastal Ridge Challenge Race, on Saturday, and things will wrap up on Sunday with a barbecue in Glovertown. Troy Turner, CBC News, Sandy Cove.
Well, 25 people in the province have been invited to step into a circle of distinction. For years, the YWCA has given its annual Women of Distinction Award, but as freelance reporter Leila Baudouin explains, this year that award is getting a new name, and that's not all.
This is it, the power of the YWCA, bringing women like Maria Gentle and Dolores Mollings together. Gentle's the executive director of the advocacy, which brings issues like gender equity and social justice to light, with a long-time annual awards ceremony that recognizes women doing that work. Mollings was a recipient in 2019.
This is one of the few associations, organizations, places in the community that I've felt comfortable being. It's one of the few. And I have tried very hard in other places, and I didn't have to try hard here.
The head of Memorial's Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, and Anti-Racism Department, she says she's glad to be back and talking about the award's new look.
Is again quite fitting because it means that we're not leaving anyone out.
It's in the name. The longtime YWCA Women of Distinction Awards are now known as the Circle of Distinction.
That circle is about gender diverse people, to celebrate women and gender diverse people and widen the circle of recognition.
A rebranding that means more people at the table, reflected in this year's 25 nominees for the ceremony later this month, as debates on pronouns heat up and protest against gender diverse policies in schools hit every province. Gentle says the YWCA award rebranding symbolizes what's at stake.
The impacts and barriers that face women and gender diverse people are the same. And so when we work together to widen the circle, to both make changes, make movement and progress, we also need to lift people up, lift each other up, and celebrate successes. And now more than ever, as we hear some of the challenges in politics, national discussions, this is a really important conversation.
A dialogue Mollings is used to. When she was recognized in 2019 for her mentorship and education, she looked around the room and challenged everyone to widen their gaze, to see more differences, not just visual barriers, in spaces like award ceremonies.
I didn't see a lot of people that appeared different. So it pleases my heart that I don't have to come back this year and say, wow, we haven't really gained, or we haven't made any gains. So we've actually made gains. So it's exciting.
And so, yes, there's work to be done, but we also need to stop and celebrate together. And that's what the awards are all about. We're just hoping to build that community, to lift up how support can change the lives of women and gender diverse people, and just let that ripple effect take place.
Gentle says it's not just the award, but what comes next, something Mollings says she's experienced and hopes to see grow.
The excitement that they carry and hold in their invitation to people.
An invitation that has come full circle. With an event coming up this National Gender Equity Week, the YWCA says it's a reflection of that inclusivity in action. Layla Baudouin, CBC News.
Well, the beautiful houses are so colourful. It's very wiggly, the town.
Yes, bye.
Yes, bye. That's right.
Yes, grab your hot potato and start your propellers. This weekend, the colorful Wiggles are cruising into St. John's.
It sounds like they're bringing us some sunshine too, which will be nice. We do have a few showers in the forecast for parts of the province, but we'll get into all those details when I come back.
This weather update is brought to you by Steamatic Canada, the undisputed choice in restoration. Don't panic. Call Steamatic.
Yeah, I really found the cold hit me as I walked out the door early this morning, and I could see my breath.
Yeah. Oh,
haven't seen that in a long time.
No, definitely have not seen that in a long time. That's for sure. Temperatures, across the province were fairly chilly. Take a look one more time. 12 degrees in Badger this afternoon, though. So you definitely saw a rebound in those temperatures. 14 in Burgeo, same thing for Winterland. But if you were still in that onshore flow, in that northerly flow, your temperatures were very chilly today. 7 degrees is a daytime high in Twillingate. And up across Labrador, the hot spot, which we haven't said in a while, is Lab City at about 16 degrees today. So there was some warmth out there, but if we take a look, sun is setting now. In fact, our sunset is just before 7 o'clock tonight. If we take a look at the temperatures, though, we're down to 8 degrees in St. John's. Those winds brisk still out of the north-northwest. 32 kilometers per hour, but they're gusting near 43 at the moment. And fall definitely feels like fall out there, but it officially arrives early tomorrow morning at about 4:20 Newfoundland time. And our sunrise tomorrow morning will be at about 6:48 a.m. and the sun will set at 6:57. So we're certainly starting to see those shorter days out there and really the cool nights. That is definitely a signal of fall. For sure. 8 degrees, like I said, in St. John's right now. Still 10 degrees in Corner Brook, though, 12 in Stephenville. And that the temperatures up across Labrador, about 14 degrees in Lab City at the moment. So we've got a ridge of high pressure. We do have some cloud cover moving in towards the western portions of Labrador anyway, but these clear skies tonight are going to lead to some cool temperatures out there yet again. That will be the story across the island. We may see some clouds move in, some high clouds move in towards the midnight hour for the west coast, and generally cloudy with the chance of showers up across central portions of Labrador, and that will head towards the coast as we get into the morning. And you'll also see that chance of showers towards the west coast and parts of central as we get into the morning as well. But before that, temperatures should drop, especially in those low-lying areas. We'll likely see those temperatures below zero, or maybe even a couple degrees above. But for the most part, it is a recipe for frost tonight. We still have that chance of showers in for Happy Valley Goose Bay, but you'll hover around the 8-degree mark. So Environment Canada has issued that frost advisory in place pretty much from Green Bay, White Bay, all along the northeast coast, including the Avalon. And again, those low-lying areas is where your best chance of seeing that frost is tonight. As we head into tomorrow morning, we should see some sunshine for the first half of the day, especially east, but the clouds will move in, as will the chance of showers for those of you on the west coast through central, all along the northeast coast. And then we've got widespread showers, widespread area of seeing some isolated showers up across Labrador as well. And as we head into the evening hours, so 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, we should start to see some showers towards the Avalon and southern areas of the island as well. And that will move through. By the time we get into Sunday morning, we should see some clearing skies and setting the stage again for another day. Now, the thing is, for tomorrow, we're going to see a bump up in temperatures. This is a couple degrees above where we should be sitting this time of year, and in fact it's going to be a bit breezy as well. Those winds will be out of the west around 30, gusting as much as 60 kilometers per hour. So even though we'll see some sun, that wind will definitely make these temperatures feel a little bit chillier. For Clarenville, Bonavista, you're looking at that chance of showers right through the day. Same thing through central. 16 to 18 degrees will be your daytime highs. And as we head through to the weekend, to Sunday, eventually we will see those skies clearing, but temperatures are going to be up and down over the course of the weekend. Westerly winds for those of you on the west coast between 30 to 50 kilometers per hour. We're talking about daytime highs between 14 to as much as 16 or 17 degrees through the day. And then for the northern peninsula, generally the chance of showers, but you will see definitely some sunshine through the day, and your daytime highs will be in the teens. Winds light up across Labrador, really nothing to speak of. Cartwright will still stay in the single digits, so you're looking at a daytime high around 8 degrees. And then for the rest of the Big Land, Your temperature's looking pretty nice for this time of year. 14 degrees in Happy Valley, Goose Bay. Lab City, you're sitting at 12, but again, brisk winds through the day. So that ridge of high pressure will dominate the weather really as we look ahead to next week. And it does look like there's lots of sunshine in the forecast as well. And we'll talk about that in the long range forecast.
Sounds great. Thanks, Ashley. Well, Captain Feathersword is cruising into Kitty Vitty, which can only mean one thing. The Wiggles are coming back to town. We connected with the colorful crew to hear what they have in store for the upcoming shows in St. John's, including a potential treat for older audiences.
Now we're gonna go up and go down. Get back up and turn around.
We love Newfoundland so much. We have the best time there. Last year we learned a song. I had a hat when I came in, I hung it on the rack. So we'll do that for everybody this year. It's a massive show. All 7 of the 8 Wiggles are here. And we've got all our characters too. Captain Feathersword is fresh off his pirate ship sailing into the St. John's. Is it Kitty Vitty?
Kitty Vitty.
He parked his ship there.
We love, like Lockie said, we love visiting. We've had such wonderful times over there, just exploring and all the beautiful houses. They're so colourful. It's very wiggly, the town, and all the different shops. And I know Sahai does like going to the lolly shop and the chocolate, the Newfoundland chocolate shop.
Yes, bye.
Yes, bye. That's right. With all the sayings on there, so it's great.
If the people of Newfoundland would like a show, we are more than. I think there's a night free to do it. We did the Rock House. Is it the Rock House? Yeah, and last time we raised money for the horrible damage that was done from the storm. So we would love to do another show if the crowds would like it.
Hot potato, 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 hot potato.
There's a lot more Wiggles. There's a lot, double the colour. But we've got so much more fun on stage. We've got all the Wiggles songs from 30 years, so all the classics like Hot Potato and Fruit Salad. And then we've got Do the Propeller, but we've also got so many nursery rhymes and a few Dorothy songs. And it's just a lot of fun, and we get through the audience, so we get to go and meet all the families during the show. We get to interact with them all. We get to collect signs, and it's very one-on-one. It's very interactive, and it makes it so much fun for us as well. So we're very, very looking forward to being in St. John's.
Best job ever. It's an hour and 10 minutes of us looking out at the crowds, watching the mums and dads and the grandparents enjoy watching their own children have such a fun time. So you actually can't, I don't think, get a better spot to watch that from. The show goes so fast for us, but yeah, as Sahai said, we do get to go out into the crowd and just say hi to everybody. If anyone wants to make a sign saying "We love John," you could put that out there too.
Personally, go and pick it up myself.
Well, it kind of sounded like an older crowd may be treated to a little Wiggles after dark. We'll see if that's what the fans want, they said. The more family-friendly Wiggles shows are happening tomorrow at the Mary Brown Centre in St. John's. They have multiple performances here before heading to Halifax. Well, a fixture in downtown St. John's was closed today in honor of late store owner Rod Hodnott. Hodnott, who owned Livier's Antiques, passed away earlier this month. According to family, he not only appreciated his customers for their business, but also for their conversation. Livier's first opened in 1980 with a focus on relics from the province's past. We'll be right back. There has been a lot of concern in the province over the past few months about drug-related deaths. A lot of talk about 11 deaths related to drugs in July and August. The RNC has been warning about fentanyl in the illicit drug supply. Families have taken to the steps of Confederation Building calling for action. But what is the reality of the situation? We now know there have been 23 deaths, 17 involving cocaine. 2 deaths were fentanyl specific. 4 people died of a mixture of the two. Joining me now is someone who has been on the front lines of this, really, the Chief Medical Examiner, Dr. Nash Dennick. Thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Thank you. I'm glad actually to speak on this topic. I think the primary duty of this office is the public safety. And there was a lot of outcry and in the public relating to the recent increase of number of deaths related to drugs. Even the rumors are that there was a contamination of the cocaine with fentanyl. And we were trying this time, and this is the first time that we are reporting the numbers that were not confirmed with toxicology. Just to tell the public what we are dealing here with in the Office of Chief Medical Examiner. Yes, there was a group of individuals that we tested, did the preliminary test of their urine, and this is just a screening test. This is not a test that's going to tell us what the person had in the system when they died. That's why we're performing the testing on biological materials such as blood. That's going to give us the accurate presence of the drug at the time of the death. So that's what we did for these 11 individuals, and these are the numbers that we eventually confirmed. Some of them we confirmed by toxicology, and we reported publicly. So not all of these 11 deaths were actually drug-related. As you can see, the 2 deaths are natural, and 1 death was ruled out accidental, but not drug-related. Even those 2 natural deaths, we have evidence that those individuals were taking cocaine at some point. The public has to understand that there's no safe dose for cocaine. 1 line today can give you the feeling of being high and feeling good. The same line tomorrow can kill you. So there's no safe dose even for fentanyl as well. People have to understand, and individuals have to understand that the toxicity of the cocaine is not only at the time when you're taking it, that you may succumb to the acute toxicity, but over the period of years taking cocaine very negatively reflects on the bodies, such as the heart. We see in the heart of the individuals those unfortunately ending up at our service where their blood vessels of the heart look like somebody is in their 70s and 80s years of age. So it's promote what we call atherosclerosis, or the hardening of the blood vessels, and subsequently giving the heart attack type of picture.
It sounds like you have a real message for drug users in this province.
Absolutely, absolutely, especially the one they're using hard drugs like cocaine, methamphetamine, opioids such as fentanyl, and mixing all of these drugs is also detrimental for the body. Individuals taking everything from benzodiazepines mixing with the cocaine and opioids such as fentanyl. We're gonna see increase in these deaths. We already have surpassed the number of deaths from last year. Last year we had 18 deaths cocaine related. We already have 17, and we still have a quarter of year to go. So saying that means we're going to be definitely seeing increased number. We see increased number of fentanyl related deaths. Last year we had 5. For this year so far we have 6. And we see this year more a mix of cocaine with fentanyl, not necessarily meaning that the cocaine was contaminated with fentanyl. In my opinion, and based on my conversation with the police, which they haven't seen based on their drug seizure and testing, they haven't seen contamination of cocaine with fentanyl. This is still possible, of course. We believe that there is independent use or two drugs rather than contamination.
Is fentanyl, because that's what we've been talking about so much in the news, is the concern about fentanyl in the illicit drug supply. Is fentanyl the main killer here of drug users, or is it cocaine?
Cocaine is the main killer, and I stated all of that, and this is not surprisingly. If you look all the seizures in Canada, really it's 7,000 seizures, and cocaine is on the top of it. The second one would be methamphetamine, and surprisingly, we don't see many cases of methamphetamine, maybe a couple of cases of methamphetamine per year. And the third seizure would be fentanyl. But we also see the new group, they're called nitazines. They're 20 times more potent than fentanyl. And then they could be presented as a different type of medications that the people buying on the streets, they don't know, and they're 20 times more potent than the fentanyl itself. So we only had a couple of cases in this province. We cannot be mixing the drugs. We cannot be drinking the opiates, even the prescription medications, with the other antidepressants, with alcohol. All of this can lead to sudden death.
Well, Dr. Nash-Stenek, you clearly have a very strong message for the public. Thank you so much for speaking with me today.
You're very welcome.
President Zelensky, I think, is desperate to ensure he has that support. What he saw in Washington over the last several days makes him nervous for certain. Looking at what could occur in the election of 2024 in the United States makes him even more nervous. And so he needs countries like Canada more than ever to step up, not just for now, to make sure he keeps winning that fight or keeps the Russians from going any further, but for the much longer term.
And that's General Rick Hillier speaking on the Ukrainian president's visit to Ottawa. It's the first time Volodymyr Zelensky has been in this country since the Russian invasion began 19 months ago. Hillier, who's from this province, previously served as Canada's Chief of Defence Staff. Sources tell CBC Canada is expected to announce a new package of $650 million in military aid to Ukraine. Hillier says it's crucial Putin doesn't win the war. And the Prime Minister confirms Canada will give millions more in aid to support Ukraine's war effort. Trudeau says it's part of a new multi-year commitment to help in the country's fight against the Russian invasion. It's in addition to $500 million in aid Canada for Ukraine announced in June.
I'm announcing $650 million in new military assistance over the next 3 years to supply Ukraine with 50 armored vehicles, including armored medical evacuation vehicles that will be built by Canadian workers in London, Ontario.
An 11-year-old Syrian boy in Saskatoon has been living with relatives for 6 years, separated and a world away from his parents. Now, finally, they've been reunited. The CBC's Bonnie Allen was at the airport for the big moment.
This is what nervous anticipation looks like. 11-year-old Adnan Karsa at the airport, preparing to see his parents for the first time in 6 years.
I didn't meet them in a long time, so I'm kind of nervous, but I'm excited at the same time.
The Syrian boy has been living with his grandmother in Saskatoon while his parents were stuck in Turkey. Adnan's father, Manhel Karsa, says this moment feels like a dream, that he's cried every night for his son. In 2017, as the Syrian war raged on, Adnan's parents sent him with his grandmother to Malaysia to escape the violence just for a few months. But then his parents and grandfather were forced to flee to Turkey with no passports, no money, no way to reunite with their loved ones. Adnan's little sister was born in Turkey, so this is their first time meeting in person. Adnan made it to Canada in 2021, privately sponsored by his aunt and a volunteer group called Moms for Refugees. After he arrived, they began raising money to reunite him with his family.
Fundraising is always hard, and it's a lot of work, and the paperwork is a long process, but I think this is the reward of doing this work. This is the day you always wait for and hope for.
With a huge backlog of immigration and refugee cases and long delays, the family worried this moment wouldn't happen.
We're very happy and excited that he made it safe. We couldn't believe ourselves, we're worried until last minute.
Yeah, I tried to not cry, but I couldn't hold it.
ما له مصدق إنه ابنه بعيد عنه يعني فكر ما نام.
That was a dream, and it was unbelievable to meet his son again.
Wow. Now they'll settle into their new home and try to make up for lost time. Cherishing each new moment together, no matter how small. Even the chance to tie their son's shoes. Bonnie Allen, CBC News, Saskatoon.
Oh, what a lovely story. So nice to see them all together like that. Well, we're going to show you something you definitely don't see every day. A skydiver demonstrating incredible precision with a one-of-a-kind landing.
Yeah, girl, I'm coming for you!
Oh my goodness. And there he is falling from the sky right onto an inflatable unicorn of all things. He made this fairy tale landing as part of a skydiving festival in Nottingham, England. Several others also attempted to complete the feat. In order to qualify for the competition, participants had to have made at least 200 prior jumps. Wow. Well, it's Friday, so let's find out who's celebrating. Congratulations to Douglas and Elizabeth Barney. It's their 50th anniversary today. Wishing John and Mary Cox of Clark's Beach a happy 57th anniversary. Happy anniversary to Ralph and Ethel Hiscock. They are celebrating 52 years of marriage. Happy 63rd anniversary to Hector and Jean Earl of St. Lunaire, Griquet. Anniversary greetings going out to Jim and Bridget Welsh of Carbonear. They're marking 53 years together. Congratulations Congratulations to Edmund and Shirley Rowe of Chance Cove. It's their 60th anniversary. Happy 55th anniversary to Bob and Doris Anthony of Lewisport. Wishing Cliff and Nina Wellen of Gander a happy 61st anniversary. Happy 57th anniversary to Norma and Angus Vallis of Harper Breton. Happy 50th anniversary to Hubert and Suzanne Ingram of Port aux Basques. Congratulations to Calvin and Hazel Hibbs of Peterview. They're celebrating 52 years of marriage. Happy 50th anniversary to Mike and Brenda Canning of Pasadena. Happy anniversary to Patrick and Maureen Fian. It's their 55th. Happy 60th anniversary to Ron and Gloria Lubert of Gander. Anniversary greetings going out to Alan and Bonnie Thomas of Hants Harbor, now in Clark's Beach. They've been married 55 years. Happy 60th anniversary to Joyce and Mabon Keefe of Grand Falls, Windsor. Wishing Alan and Willie Loader of Summerside a happy 58th anniversary. Robert and Mitty Gullidge of Kelligrews are marking 67 years of marriage. Anniversary greetings going out to Laura and Stuart Pye of Lodge Bay, Labrador on their 58th. Happy anniversary to Roy and Judy Critch of Greens Harbor, who are celebrating their 50th anniversary. 50th anniversary greetings going out to Gloria and Derek Mercer of Pasadena. Happy anniversary to Mona and Dorman Snow. They're also marking 50 years of marriage. And another golden anniversary. Happy 50th to Doug and Mary Moores of Freshwater. Wishing Nish and May Berry a very happy 51st anniversary. Now to some birthdays. Happy 93rd birthday to Nellie Collier of St. Albans. Wishing Alice King of Grand Falls, Windsor a happy 98th birthday. Birthday wishes going out to Betty Noseworthy of Mount Pearl. She's turning 93. Beatrice Savory from Port aux Basques is turning 99 on Sunday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Tom Atkinson, who is celebrating his 90th birthday. Ernest Wheeler from Mount Pearl is also turning 90. An interesting footnote here, his first and last child were both born on his birthday. A happy 94th birthday to Ralph Coombs of Head of Beta Spear, now living in CBS. Wishing Phyllis Hicks in Bonavista a happy 98th birthday tomorrow. Happy 90th birthday to Don Waterman from Gambo. Birthday wishes going out to Nellie Bartlett from Colliers, who's turning 93. Happy birthday to Teresa Bruce, who turned 96 yesterday. And here's a milestone. Janet Payton turned 100 on Wednesday. Happy birthday. And another big one, Alan Freeman of Twillingate turns 102 today. He's now living in Gander. Happy birthday. Another fine crowd. Congratulations once again. Lots of celebrating happening this weekend. Not so much if you're gonna miss summer, because summer ends tomorrow. Today was the last full day of summer, right?
Yeah. Are you not a fan of fall?
I do like fall.
Okay.
I love the change in seasons, actually.
Yeah. Fall, I think, I love all of the seasons, every single one of them for a reason. But fall, I just like the cool nights, and you know, you need a sweater and sweater weather.
When the colors start to change on the leaves, it's going to be so beautiful.
Yeah,
there's
there are
positives for everything.
Definitely, and they're already starting to change across parts of the country. I haven't seen any photos here yet, so if you do see any this weekend, you're definitely going to want to send those to us. And this is the time when we start to see those cooler nights, less sunshine, all that sort of stuff. Let's take a look at what your forecast is for the weekend. You definitely are going to see some sunshine at the times and those cooler nights as well. But temperatures will be a bit warmer anyway tomorrow, and the trend will continue as we head into Sunday as well. So it may be a bit unsettled up across Labrador for the first part of the day, but we should see some sunshine. We'll say goodbye to the rain through the overnight period, and we should see some sunshine across the island to start the day on Sunday. Maybe a little bit of cloud cover lingering for the northern peninsula, and a potential for a slight chance of showers for the west coast as well. But overall, Sunday actually looks pretty decent. Now, as we head into the afternoon, evening hours, clouds will be on the increase. Better chance of showers, especially towards the west coast. And your day will stay fairly unsettled up across Labrador as well. as we see the potential for showers sticking around. So temperatures will be a bit cooler for eastern portions of the island, only around 13 degrees. But as you head through central, west coast, and even along the south coast of the island, your temperatures should be between 16 and 17 degrees through the day. Up across Labrador, still hanging on to those single digits for those of you towards the coast, but between 11 and about 14 degrees for those of you through central and western portions of Labrador. Into Sunday evening, those showers will again spread across the island as we head into Monday morning as well. We should see some clearing skies up across Labrador, but the rest of Monday looks pretty beautiful. So those showers will move through fairly quickly. We should see some sunshine as the day goes on. They may linger in the east, depending on how quickly they move off, but for the most part, it's actually looking like a pretty good day for your Monday. And then for northern portions of Labrador, you're going to hang on to that chance of showers as well, and that will work its way down the coast through the night. Temperatures back down to the single digits for the northern peninsula, 7 degrees, otherwise between 10 to 13 or 14 degrees for the rest of the island. Labrador, you're in the teens as well, 11 to 15 degrees through the day, and this is as our next system moves in, which is that ridge of high pressure, and it's going to keep things fairly quiet. Long range forecast showing temperatures still in the teens, well, 11 degrees to about 14 by the time we get into Wednesday, but our overnight lows are going to be in the single digits. And then for central Newfoundland, you're looking at a nice stretch of weather. Look at that, 10 degrees on Monday, but by Tuesday and Wednesday, back up to late summer, 16, 17, 18 degrees. And then for western Newfoundland, it'll take a little longer to see those warmer temperatures, but you'll get there by the time we get into Wednesday. And for eastern Labrador, there you go. Look at that, 20 degrees in the forecast by the time we get into Wednesday. And you may hit that in Lab West as well, but at this point, looking like 18 or 19 degrees. It's a beautiful day.
Oh, wow.
This shot of a rainbow from Ladies Lookout there at Signal Hill. Thank you to Greg for that lovely shot. And if you have any weather photos you'd like to share with us, you can send them along and send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Great shot. Thank you for that, Greg. And Ashley, you're going to be heading to Port aux Basques this weekend.
Port aux Basques.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hard to believe 1 year.
1 year on Sunday. So arrive Sunday, and then we're doing the show from there on Monday. So we're going to talk to a couple people, catch up. Karen and Todd Kettle, hopefully we'll get the chance to talk to them and see how they're doing.
Great. Hope you can tune in. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Good night.